Realme just launched two new phones, and these are not those phones. They launched two new phones in the X series, the X7 and the X7 Pro. And jokes apart, these phones are really interesting. And by interesting here, I mean OnePlus Nord beating specs at supposedly cheaper than OnePlus Nord prices. But that's not all. We also got a sneak peek at the Realme V3, which possibly happens to be the cheapest 5G phone that we're gonna see ever. Okay, not ever, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, probably in the next couple of years. So hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and here's everything you're gonna wanna know about these new launches from Realme. If you do end up finding this video informative, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. Okay, let's kick things off with the Realme X7 and X7 Pro. The design here, well, it's certainly eye-catchy for one. The back has a glossy gradient finish that has this huge Dare to Leap printed on one side of it. Thankfully though, both these phones, they are available in two other color options, white and blue for the X7, black or white for the X7 Pro. These other finishes, they have much more subtle color changing patterns, and there is no giant Dare to Leap logo on either of them. So they look a lot more, let's say, refined and a lot more to my taste. Now, turning them around, both phones sport AMOLED panels with in-display fingerprint sensors. The X7, it has a smaller 6.4-inch Full HD Plus display. This is protected by Corning's Gorilla Glass. They haven't named the version. The interesting thing to note is that this panel, it comes with 180 Hz of touch sampling, but the refresh rate, it is still standard 60 Hz. So basically kind of what we saw with the iQOO 3. Now, as for the X7 Pro though, we've got a slightly larger 6.55-inch panel. It's still Full HD Plus, still AMOLED. This time they've mentioned the Gorilla Glass version. It's protected by Corning's Gorilla Glass 5, and the refresh rate, it's 120 Hz. The touch sampling is 240 Hz. So this is basically equal to what Samsung offers with the S series and the Note 20, you know, that 90,000 rupee phone, in terms of refresh rate. But hey, if you're gonna go Quad HD, those phones cannot do 120 Hz either. Any which ways, coming back, this isn't much of a surprise because Realme says these panels are being sourced from Samsung themselves, and Samsung's panels are some of the best in the business. Samsung does an amazing job with the displays. Now, as for the internals, no Qualcomm, definitely not Samsung. We've got Mediatek's Dimensity Chips inside both these phones. So yes, they're both 5G capable phones. Now, the Realme X7, it has the Dimensity 800U processor, but the real star of the show, it's gotta be the Realme X7 Pro. It's got the flagship Mediatek Dimensity 1000 Plus. Both these SoCs, they seem powerful enough to handle anything thrown at them. The Realme X7 5G, it sports the Mali G57 GPU. As for the X7 Pro, we've got the 9-core Mali G77. As of now, these are just names, this is just nomenclature. They don't really mean anything. And they're not gonna mean anything till we actually get our hands on these phones and see what these chips are capable of. On paper, they seem very positive. I kinda expect great things from these chips, but we've been burnt before by Mediatek. We've seen chips that have appeared great on paper, but that's not really translated into practical day-to-day usage. So with this one, you know, I'm going to be optimistic, fingers crossed. Let's hope that these two chips fare really well. Now, on the memory front, we have either 6 or 8 gigs of LPDDR4X RAM on the Realme X7, which is combined with 128 gigs of UFS 2.1 storage. With the X7 Pro, it's 8 gigs of RAM, and we can opt for 128 or 256 gigs of storage, but it's not UFS 3, it's still UFS 2.1, just like the X7. It does have one difference. This one gets Realme's proprietary TurboWrite algorithm for a little bit of faster read-write speeds. Now, both these phones, they seem like spec monsters, right? So of course they need to have monstrous batteries, and by monstrous, I mean, you know, really high capacity batteries. I mean, not talking about any brand here. 4000 plus milliamp hour batteries are available on both phones. Inside the Realme X7, there's a 4300 milliamp hour battery, while the X7 Pro, it gets 5% more, 4500 milliamp hour. Of course, the smaller form factor combined with a smaller battery means the X7 is also lighter, 175 grams. It's also got the smaller display, right? The X7 Pro, larger display, higher capacity battery. So it's the bigger phone, and the weight is also higher. it's still 184 grams. Realme has managed to keep the weight of both these phones under 200 grams, which is great, but the weight savings, they do come with a few sacrifices. Neither phone sports a micro SD card slot, which we can live with. You don't have a headphone jack either. Again, that is disappointing, but Realme has promised to include a USB Type-C to 3.5mm adapter inside every box. But if the output via that is something you don't like, if you want really high quality audio on your phone, here's a card to a video where you can just see how you can do that. Check that out. Now anyway, that's it. The bigger size of the X7 Pro means Realme were able to cram in stereo speakers. So on paper, the audio should be a lot better on the Pro. Now circling back to the battery, Realme has equipped both phones with their super fast 65-watt smart flash charger. That's for the X7 Pro. Realme is claiming charging it for just 3 minutes is going to give us 55 minutes of usage. It seems like impressive claims. Will it translate? Again, gotta see. As for a full charge, it's gonna take about 35 minutes. Generally, based on track record, Realme has been accurate with their full charge percentages. Generally, their battery predictions have been spot on with regards to charge times. So no reason to doubt them here. The X7, it's even faster because it's a lower capacity battery. It takes 2 minutes lesser than the X7 Pro. So 0 to 100 in just 33 minutes. And that brings us now to the optics. We've got a quad camera setup on the back. Every phone these days get 4 cameras, almost, unless you're a 90,000 plastic back phone which has 3 cameras. Let's not go back. Keeping it to Realme, coming back, 64 megapixel primary camera, f1.8 aperture lens. The X7 Pro is using the latest IMX686 sensor from Sony. As for the rest, we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and the other 2 are there just to make up the numbers, like with almost every other mid-range phone. We've got a 2 megapixel macro and monochrome sensors. Now, as for selfies, there's a whopping 32 megapixel front-firing shooter capable of even 120 FPS slow fees. And when Apple announced it, we all knew we were gonna see more and more of this on the Android side of things. And hey, now it is on a super mid-range phone. Now, judging by the specs on paper, both these phones are looking like absolute monsters. So, all that remains right now is for us to talk about price. But before that, let's quickly take a break and take a look at the new Realme V3. This is not a very special phone. Based on specs, it's not got anything super unique. Yes, it's got the Mediatek Dimensity 720. What is unique is that this is a 5G capable phone. The new V3, this is a 5G capable phone that comes in at around the 10,000 rupee mark. The design, it's not something we've not seen in the past. It's kind of like what we've seen with the Realme C15, kinda. The display wise, we are looking at a 6.5-inch HD plus IPS panel, the 6 or 8 gigs of RAM coupled with 64 or 128 gigs of, again, UFS 2.1 storage. It's also got the highest capacity battery of the 3, 5000 mAh. No fancy 65-watt charging, but it's still got 18 watts, which is quite decent. The optics 13 plus 2 plus 2. So like I said, the pricing is what makes this phone special. It's priced, it starts at 999 yuan, which with current exchange rates is around 10,500 rupees. That's absolutely insane pricing. Basically, if this phone ever comes to India, it brings 5G connectivity in the under 15K segment, which isn't something we've been seeing. And the Realme X7, it starts at 1799 yuan, while the Pro starts at 2199 yuan. Converted around 19 and 23,000 rupees. Of course, guys, these are just the converted prices. So keep in mind, in case you get your hopes up a little too much. But hey, that about ends it for this quick little video. Do let me know in the comments what you think about these new releases from Realme. Are you as excited as I am? Do you think if these actually end up coming to India, they can take on the likes of the Nord? Or do you feel Realme still lacks in something? You feel they should have done something better here? And would you like to see these phones in India? Again, you know where to let me know. Go on to the comments. And that's it. Whatever you felt about the video, liked, thumbs up, disliked, thumbs down. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you for your time. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 eTech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.